Earlier in the season, I had actually signed a new 2-year contract as head coach at the club. When it became clear that Connor was looking to move on, I sat down and thought long and hard about what I thought the club needed, which wasn't really as much about me as about the club. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to think that it was something that would be a fantastic new challenge for me, and it was at the right time, and that I thought I could bring a completely new angle to the whole thing, whilst building on what it is that we do so well here, which there are several things. I was aware that the Director of Rugby role was available. I thought it was time for a new challenge for me, and knowing the club as well as I do, hopefully I'm well positioned to get the best out of a wonderfully exciting new coaching group and a new era. It was an important need to freshen the whole thing up, I felt, with the opportunity that occurred with Connor's leaving. And therefore, bringing somebody in from the outside, in the case of Graham Rowntree, there's a man who's suffered. Obviously, people see him high profile wise, the difficulties England had with the World Cup, but he's somebody I know pretty well, in fact very well, and he's a top class coach. This is the man who was asked to go with the British Lions in a very early period of his coaching, and those experiences, I can tell you from first hand, when things don't go right at first, you learn. Good people learn from difficult experiences, and he's going to be a fantastic addition. Putting Mark in as head coach, there's a man with unbelievable energy, desiring of new challenges himself as well, always seeking to take things forward. On top of that, obviously Nick Easter, the whole thing there. Now, for me, people might ask questions and say, well, he hasn't coached at this level. Well, everybody starts in a certain position. He's actually been coaching very, very successfully at Wimbledon. But you think about it. The man knows the club backwards. He knows the squad backwards. He knows the coaches backwards. He knows the way we play backwards. Probably better than I do, because he's been on the pitch 4,000 times doing it. So he's going to be able to bring unbelievable experience and gravitas to that situation. And again, I know Nick very well. He was instrumental in him coming to the club, and we do know each other extremely well. But he will give a freshness to it. So I've got no doubt the chemistry of the coaching group, it's really exciting. The coaching group will work well together. But I think what we'll be able to do is have a freshness and look at it slightly differently and separately. And then we've got the steady rock Colin Osborne as well, of course, who's been here an awful long time. He makes me seem like a novice, but when the heat's on, Colin is the man to talk to, because he's very, very level-headed and doesn't get persuaded by outside influences. And so he was actually very heavily instrumental, as a few were, in suggesting I thought long and hard about this role as well. And I value people's opinions like that have been around a long time. And so he'll be a steadying ship around all the exciting stuff. Directors of rugby up and down the country will have different remits. Some of them will actually be just the head coach, but some people nominate them director of rugby as well. The bottom line is I'll be doing less coaching on field than I've been doing, and if the coaches want me out on the field to do something to help them with, then clearly I'll be there to do that. But what I'll be doing more than anything is overseeing a wonderfully dynamic coaching group. They will take responsibility for making sure that we get things right. I think there's loads of things that really we can take the next step forward on. I think it is time, despite the fact we'll be looking to play a similar brand of rugby, I think it is time to look at some changes in terms of the way that we do things and how we do things. The game is continually evolving, and it's absolutely imperative that we are evolving as well. And we have 50% change in the coaching staff this year, bringing people in who actually have been able to see things from the outside, also people on the inside who are able to offer an opinion without having been coaching, but in wonderfully positioned to do that as well. So I think we're going to come at it from a slightly different angle. The mission next year will be to try to win the Premiership. Of course it is. But if we can't do that, we'll try and finish second. And if we can't do that, we'll try and finish third. And I'll be giving it my absolute all to ensure, with the right people around me, to ensure that we can do that and do the very best we can.